Hey everyone, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. If this is the first time you're visiting us, thank you so much for taking the time out. I so appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time out to be here. And also, if you are returning, I want to say welcome back, and welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back and taking the time out to listen to see what I had to talk about today. And today is a good one. So I don't know if you guys have been following me on TikTok. I'm new to TikTok. It's not like the best thing that I've ever done. I am being so creative as much as possible as within me on that right side of my brain. I'm trying to use it as best I can. So it's not a great deal on TikTok, but there is some stuff on TikTok. But if you have been following me on TikTok, just let's all say yes, you have. My last TikTok was just this week, I think. Yeah, this week. And I was talking about something that we forget that we have. Let me just say that. I'm not going to say that I didn't know I didn't have. I forget that I have it, and I forget to exercise it. And since it came to me as an epiphany while I was exercising, I figured I'd share it. And now I'm going to share it with you guys on a longer scale. And it was just like a quick blurb because you can't be too long-winded on TikTok because you'll lose a person in the first, I guess, 7 seconds is what they say. But anyways, I was talking about something that we forget we have, and that's choices. We forget that we have the power to choose different things, and we forget that that's one of the most powerful tools that we're given as human beings is the power to choose. And one of the things is that we don't realize that we're using it every day. And we are. It's how we govern our lives. It's how we do a lot of things that we're doing. It's all by choice. We make these choices. And everything we do in our life actually boils down to a choice. Now, sometimes we feel like we don't have the right to choose, or we don't have, it's not our place to choose, but it's not. And we do, as humans, have a right to choose. We can choose our path. We can choose our journey. We can choose what school we go to. We can choose who we marry. We can choose. We can choose. We can choose. There is an infinite amount of choices that we can make in our lives. Just like there's an infinite amount of numbers. Numbers can go on forever, and so can our choices. Now, hear me. Your choices are infinite, and they will change like the wind, and they will leave like the leaves on a tree, and they just will come and go as the situation allows. Now, because of that infinite possibility, it does make us change what we do quite often. Let me just say that. With every choice we make, I'm trying to get my thought here. With every choice we make, we either open a door or we close a door. So let's say with every infinite choice, we have an infinite number of doors that we're opening and closing at that time. And again, that's a choice that we make, right? So with those infinite number of doors that are opening, remember you have to close one before you go into another one. And sometimes we leave them both open, and that's a whole different other conversation. But when you have that infinite number of choices and those infinite number of doors that are opening, you have an infinite number of consequences and things that can happen because of the choices that we've made. Yeah, we kind of forget about that part sometimes. And it comes back to bite us in our ass, some of the choices we made. Some of our choices are good choices, some of our choices are bad choices, and some of our choices are good for me, may not be good for someone else. So, that's the other part too, that because the choices are good for us, doesn't mean we can impose our choices on someone else, right? We can't say what's good for me, oh, that worked for me, so it's going to work for you. Go ahead, give it a try. No, but we can give advice and say, look, I made the choice to do this way because for me it worked. Maybe it might work for you, it may not. Look at the choice, evaluate the choice, and decide if it's something that will work for you and your family. But let's talk about these infinite number of doors that are opening and closing. So a lot of us are embarking on some entrepreneurial businesses that we've all built, something that's been a passion of ours, something that derived from the COVID and that's still happening on right now. Some of it is just something that we've been trailing on slowly, and now because of the pandemic we decided to ramp it up a little bit. So whatever the reason is that you're doing the things and you're making the choices that you're making, remember it's a choice. It's a choice. So I'm just going to talk about me and use me as an example. So I started a couple of businesses. I started the podcast last year. So the podcast is actually a year old, and August will be 2 years. So yay, us. But yeah, so we have that. And then with that, I am a nurse educator, a nurse practitioner. So with that, I decided, okay, let me start some kind of business that builds around that so I can change how that looks for me, right? So make something that I've been doing for years work for me, work better for me, because it's been working for me. Now I just want it to work better. So with that, I built a business around that, right? And then now I built a business around skincare and hair care. I've been working with it for about 4 years. So you have to trial, these things out, and it's been doing fabulous for me. So now I've expanded that out, right? So all these things, right? These are all choices that I have been making. Now, in that, there is a major choice. Now, in order for me to do these pieces of my life effectively, I need to make a choice that's going to impact not only me, but my husband and the way we live. So, with that, I made a huge choice to leave my job. Yeah. Step out on faith and build this empire that I'm building, this empire on entrepreneurship, this empire on being an actress and model and these things. So I chose to build in that. And my husband has been ultra supportive. God love him. He's been, nothing but encouraging and ingratiating through this whole thing. And I appreciate him wholeheartedly. And I just want to put that out there, that this was a conversation that we had together, and these were all choices that we made together. So remember that when you're making your choices, that if there is a partnership involved, that your choices impact that other person. Yeah, as much as we want to believe that, oh, I don't have to discuss what I'm doing with this person. No, if that person is part of your life, then yes, you have to discuss your choices with them. What is that? That's not how that works. That's not how partnerships work. If you have a partnership in business, the choices you make within the business model, you need to discuss with your business partner. So why is not your spouse or significant other included in that? That's how you stay married for a very long time. You compromise, you conversate, you communicate, and you discuss your choices with one another. That's one way anyway. There's many others, but all right. So we know that with that, at any point, all these things that we're doing changes to the trajectory in which we are going. It changes our direction. It really does. So that's why you have to take those choices that you make and think about them completely before you just throw it caution to the wind. Before you just jump out there, you really need to really think about these choices, because it can not only change the direction you're going in, but it changes the direction of the people that are within that household or within that business model that you've created. It changes their choices too. Right. So remember, your choices may and can impact somebody else. So you want to make sure when you're making these choices, you make them wisely, because it's not just your journey you're changing other people's journeys as well. And that's what we got to kind of remember, that we kind of forget about sometimes. But it's all within our hands, the power. We have this infinite power that we forget about. And some of us give that power away. We allow other people to make our life choices for us. Mm-mm. It's not for them to do that. They can't live our life for us. They're not us. They don't know how you feel. They don't know what's going on in your brain. They can't make these choices for you based on what they think they know about you. Mm-mm. You have to make those choices. And we see this often with family making choices for one another, and it just doesn't, it never works out. It never works out. And as much as we like to guide our families in the things that they're doing, because we can see from the outside that it's going to be the wrong thing, at the end of the day, they need to make that choice. They need to go through the trials and tribulations, if there are any. They need to go through the successes, if they are any, and they need to experience this on their own, because that experience is going to impact the future choices that they make from that point on. And if we stifle that power of them making their own choices, we're stifling their growth. We really are. We're stunting them, and they're never going to grow at the rate they should. Well, that's adequate for them. And that's something that we need to remember, that we tend to forget about, right? We don't want to stifle somebody else's growth process. We don't want to, impact that as much as we feel like we're doing the right thing and we're doing what's best for you. Oh, I know what's better for you. And I know because I lived this life and I've been here longer than you. I mean, we've all heard it and we've all said it. We've all said it. All right. Because just by me saying it just now, I remember me saying it to my kids. I've been here longer than you. I've been a teenager before. I've been 20. I've been 25. I know what you're going to need to do. I know you should go to and be this degree and be this professional. And that, no, doesn't work that way. Now, on the flip side, there is a flip side to this. So on the flip side, here's the thing. As a healthcare professional, we're always making choices for our patients, right? Damn it. The double standard. We're always making choices for our patients. We're choosing when, for me as a practitioner, I'm choosing what medications to give them. I'm choosing what healthcare plan for them to follow, treatment plan to follow. I'm choosing what doctor they should go see or specialist they go see. I'm choosing what test they should have. I'm choosing. Here's a caveat to that. Yes, I'm making the choices, but that individual still has the right to choose whether they're going to take the medicine, whether they're going to follow my treatment plan, whether they're going to go have that test done. They still have choices. And that's what I want to share with those of you who are out there on a healthcare professional conversation. You as the patient, you as the healthcare consumer have the right to choose whether you're going to do it or not do it. But here's the thing. Based on your choices, it can impact your health. So again, you want to choose wisely, because that choice can save your life or end your life. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part, right? So yeah, the yin, the yang, it goes up and down, up and down. So it's just one of those things. Our hearts and minds govern a lot of the choices that we make. It does. Some of us make our choices based on the things that we think that we know works well. We make our choices based on things we've seen in life. We make the choices based on experiences of others. And that's a good and a bad thing. We often use exemplar or past experiences when we're educating students within the healthcare, sharing our experiences, sharing experiences of other nurses and practitioners that we've worked with, so that they can see the differences and see the varied amount of choices that they have. And I know as much as my students hate it that I shared my experience. I think one of my students said on a review that Professor Collins loves herself because she shares her experiences and how great of a nurse she is. Hell no, I never said I was a great nurse. That's for patients who I take care of to decide, not for me. I think I'm very good at what I do. I think there are good days and bad things in the things that we do. Even when I'm educating, I have good days and bad days. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the greatest at anything, but I'm damn good at what I do. That I will say, I am damn good at it. But one thing I want to share with that is our minds. A lot of the choices we make, we think with our heads a lot. And that's not a bad thing, because it's good to weigh out the choices, weigh out the consequences, and decide if that's a good choice for you. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we do with our heart, and that's nothing wrong with that either. We often make the choices to marry people based on our heart, right? Some people are that logic thinker. They're thinking of the financial gain in the family by marrying somebody. Some of us think, I love this person. That's my person. And they go from the heart. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of us make choices from our intuition, like gut feeling, right? Something in my gut's telling me I should do this, right? Or something in my gut's telling me, that stinks. I'm not going to do that. Following our intuition. That's another one of the choices that we have. And that's one that we rarely exercise. You realize that? How many times have you guys had your gut feeling tell you that you shouldn't go to the club that night, or that you shouldn't get in the car with this person, or you shouldn't go visit this? We've had our gut feeling tell us a lot of things. Our asses don't listen. We go and do it anyway. But it's a choice. We chose not to listen to our gut feeling. And look at where he got you. Jammed up. Or our gut feeling can get us in a place that is magnificent. Following my gut, I've ended up in the most beautiful of situations that have done nothing but gained me the strength, the confidence, the know-how, the education, all these pieces that bring me here today. A lot of it is due to me listening to my gut. Not my head, not my heart, but that intuition, that nagging feeling. That's how I got to a lot of places that I'm in today. And I love it. I appreciate it. So with that, I tend to listen to my gut feeling just a tad bit more than I used to. Yeah. So with that infinite number of choices, I want to ask you, because I'm not going to keep you that long. What's your choice? Are you going to choose to be a better you? Are you going to choose to follow someone else's advice against what your gut feeling is saying? Does that advice work for you? Does that healthcare plan work for you? Think about it. But I say this, make sure you make the choices that you make for the right reasons for you, not because it makes someone else happy. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing it for someone else, you're not going to be happy. And that's never a good feeling. Yeah. So with that, I am going to leave us. Yes, I'm going to leave us because, as I said I was going to be on for very long. I just wanted to really drop in really quickly and just say, hey, how y'all doing? And talk about choices just a little bit more. So with that, I want to say, have an amazing day, and do check in on your family members. All right, even the ones you don't like, even if you just say hi, how you doing? I just want to make sure you're all right. Check in on your family, guys. All right. And then check on your friends and your loved ones that are near and far and see if they're okay. Even though they've taken us off restrictions on some places, we still have some people who are suffering through this pandemic, and we'll show them a little bit of love. All right. So, with that, I bid you farewell. And if you haven't, I want to definitely talk about our couple of our sponsors really quick. So if you haven't checked out Divine Nubian Essentials, please do. Is divinenubianessentials.com. It's a hair care line, a skincare line, holistic, handcrafted skincare that is completely vegan, and there are no preservatives and no chemicals in these products, and they are amazing. I use them every day in my hair, on my skin, and I don't know about you, but hell, I think I look freaking phenomenal and I feel radiant. So there you go. So try it. It's divinenubianessentials.com. And also for those students who are out there, or community members that are out there that are looking for an educator about health and wellness, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, feel free to reach out to collinseducationresourcemanagement.com and ask for one of our lovely instructors to come and help you out. So right now, it is I. I am one of your lovely instructors. But we also offer tutoring services for 12 through college level students who are needing assistance, especially in healthcare fields. We do have individuals that will help in other fields, but right now we're only maintaining a standing for healthcare educators. So for those of you who are looking for additional assistance in passing your routine classes and also passing your NCLEX at the end of your rotation, please let us know. collinseducationresourcemanagement.com, and that's collinserm.com. All right, guys. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. And again, take care of yourself and each other. And remember, you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you can put someone else's on. So take care of yourself before you go out there and take care of others. All right. Have an amazing day. Talk to you soon. Sorry for the truck, guys.